Chumile, one would think that the CPC might get overwhelmed. I mean, there are a lot of complaints coming. Went and says here, is a CPC, for instance, intervening in the area of electricity supply? People are getting, what do they call it now? Approximate bills. Their meters are not ready. They are not billed appropriately. And so they are just given like estimated bills. That's what they are given. This other person, Falola, talks about how they boarded an airline, she said Kenyan Airlines, their bags were ripped and things stolen from the bags. They've complained. Nothing's been done about it. So many complaints are coming in here. Now, wouldn't the CPC be overwhelmed? Can the CPC cover the entire nation with all the myriads of complaints that are coming in?
Good question, which is what gave me sleepless nights when I took over this job. Because I realized that the abuse has been so systemic over the years that it is now a big heap. That if you want to deal with it, you can't take it from the bottom, you can't take it from the middle, you can only begin to take it from the top bit by bit if you must make any impact. And that was why I had to do a strategic plan to say, how do I address this? I don't just want to come and begin to take individual complaints. It will overwhelm the staff. And so I sat down with experts and we look at it. What is the best way to deal very quickly too? Because Nigerians are impatient. They're already tired. And they've slipped into such great laxity that they don't even care anymore. And I don't like that apathy.
But so, you know, it can change if we have an effective council like the CPC. And because if I know that A, B, and C had their issues redressed, resolved, then the others will follow suit. It's because over time, nothing has happened. In a case where people complain, we've had this, someone has been complaining about Dana Air. I'm trying to get that particular tweet here saying that, well, he has not been compensated. Whether he has brought that before your council is another thing.
He's asking for a refund.
But he's been asking for a refund, and over time he kept on sending that message until now you hear he's still sending the message that he needs a refund.
I'm not blaming consumers about the apathy that they are in. I'm just saying that for me, that's a challenge. And I say to you here, I can only do whatever needs to be done within the last 9 months that I came in here. And within the 9 months, I know, if the truth must be said, I've tried to raise the visibility of the council in terms of the various interventions that we are making. And that very shortly, too, if they give a little bit of time, they would begin to gain confidence in the CPC to be able to send complaints, because we are putting in place. And like I said, I'm doing sectoral reforms so that at the end of those reforms, the complaints coming out will be minimized. Because if the aviation takes the cue and for all the rights that you're entitled to and ensure that the flights are not delayed, and if they are delayed, you get your compensation, the complaints will be minimal. So that's why I'm taking the sectoral approach of trying to redress some of these complaints.
About telecoms now, because part of what I was trying to do ask at the initial stage was that all of these agencies, just as you described, it's huge. The challenge is huge. So you will get people, including agencies, that will try to frustrate this. So that was what I was alluding to initially. But back to this telecoms matter now. Are you going to further invite the CEOs to another meeting?
I will. I will, and Nigerians should be watching. Because I think that Nigerians have powers as consumers. And if they dare use their powers as consumers, most of these businesses will be out of business.
You think they are untouchables?
I don't know. I don't think they are untouchables before the law. I don't know if they say they are, but I don't know. But we'll get to the root of it, because like he's asked me, I intend, like I said, to have a second meeting. First one, I excuse them, I don't know, for whatever reason, as a first offender, like we say, let's go. But you must come back. We must discuss. We must agree that consumers must get value for money.
Because this telecoms issue from top to bottom is affected. You've seen a lot of people complain about the kind of shoddy service they get. And when they complain, even lawyers like yourself, they complain. And you look, if this learned mind seem helpless, then who am I? And now you bring this before the fore. That is why people are quite interested in this. And this is the theme the world over for this year's Consumer Protection Day. How I'm still interested in how we can take this further away from the meeting they haven't actually come to. How can we start compiling some of these breaches by these people? We still haven't talked about that. Perhaps that is when you can also bring in the phone line that people can actually reach your counsel on.
We receive complaints anyway on this sector, as with all sectors. If for further complaints, fine, but we already have enough complaints in the system. But that is not to preclude complaints coming in, because that will further, even when these meetings are held and there is an agreement as to way forward, we still need the complaints to show whether our agreements are working or not. So the complaints can be sent to our website. They can be sent, again, I must at some point in time discuss the challenge that I have in running the council, which everybody seems to sweep over because that's the sing-song in all government agencies, is the lack of, I wouldn't even want to qualify it to say adequate. You already can fathom the volume of work that the CPC needs to do. And so what we need primarily is even to engage consumers in terms of public enlightenment. That's one key area of the strategy that I have, that consumers must have a vibrant and massive public enlightenment about their rights across board. So we are not talking of telecoms. Yeah. We are talking of aviation. We are talking of goods and services and products. So how much would you want to give an organization who has, amongst others, the one mandate of enlightening the whole nation, not on one item, but on several? So in line with what I think I'm doing is I've drawn up a media strategy, a public enlightenment strategy, rather. And to say that, as a start, to get to everyone in Nigeria as much as possible, I need the radio. That's one platform that I know I can reach a lot more people.
The new media, social media.
I'll get to that, because that has its own class. But the radio, you get to people in the village. And I need that. I need to also translate all those messages in at least the 4 main languages. And I need to at least have one radio station that is popular in one state.
Are you working with the National Orientation Agency?
I am. But they also have their challenge. Whatever I want to do, they want us to pay for it. They want us to, there has some financial implication as well. They are not just going to carry our news for us free.
So the National Orientation Agency,
yes,
you pay them to carry your information out there?
No, would not pay them, but there are other support that we need to give to move it fast. I'm working with them. Okay. I'm working with as many agencies that can help me transmit. But primarily, this is the CPC's role. This is the CPC's mandate. And so if I'm going with the radio, like I said, you can just do a quick calculation. If I'm going to reach each state, just one radio may not be adequate, but at least one that is popular to do some message for us.
Yeah. Just thinking here, now you said the radio can reach those in the rural areas.
Yes.
But my colleague mentioned something about the new media.
I'm coming to that.
No, I'm coming. Using the new media, is it not possible, because it's somewhat free. Now, the young ones get to know about the CPC and they pass on the message to their parents or to their relatives in the rural areas, say, you can do this. I'm just talking about the issue of funding here, too, looking for an alternative.
We have the social media, we have a Twitter, we have a Facebook. At least those are the basic ones. We have that, and that I brought into place because they were non-existent before I came.
Wow.
So I've had to do a lot within the 9 months that I was. There was no functional Facebook.
You really have to build the institution of
Absolutely.
CPC.
So we have the Facebook. It's facebook.com/CPCNG. And then the Twitter is at CPCNIG. That is now functional. And I'm trying to find a way in which we even do a live stream of some of our activities. You know, just so we are hype also on social media. So every activity that we do, you're able to watch it live. I'm working towards that. So the social media is on top. It started working fully in the last 6 months because the first 3 months, I just had to get myself together as to how to move this council out of where it is. So the social media is there. The radio, which is free, like you said, well, not free, but has minimal financial implication.
Okay. I'm even wondering, I mean, I think by 2015 or so, when the digitization process for the media happens, there will be some complaints, I imagine. In fact, people even to date also complain about DSTV.
Yes.
So it's huge.
Electricity, he said. He said electricity,
Yeah.
and I already have my plans for that. Because what happens when you privatize is that consumers are not factored into everything that has been said.
Especially when we seek this foreign direct investment.
Yes.
We need to tell the organizations coming in,
So-
consumer issues rank topmost.
Because at the end of the day, it's the consumer that is driving these businesses. But nobody ever talks about, you haven't heard anything said about consumers in all these energy and electricity exchanges going on. But I have my plans, and I've identified all the discos, and it is to say to them, now that you are in the process of taking over this, what are your consumer plans?
Yeah.
So it's a huge challenge, but we need to take it one at a time. And I'm here, I'm listening to Nigerians saying, what are you doing about DSTV? What are you doing about telephones? There's so much they want to be fixed in a jiffy. But I can't promise that. I can only promise that I will take each one of them one by one and deal with them thoroughly for us to move forward. So that if we are able to clean one system, we know we are good to go on that system. And then we take the next. Because if I take every one that is here, then I'll be running all over like a headless chicken and will not get any result for Nigerians.
Okay, we've been speaking with Dupe Atoki, who is the Director General of Consumer Protection Council. We want to wish you all the best as you go on doing your job. Thank you for coming on this morning.
Thank you.